three main points to engage with what we just heard from the previous speaker and to show you why the logic that OG are presenting in this debate is highly problematic. What do they come and tell us? Look, first thing is, they say, you know, and there's a big chunk in Yossi's speech, you need to take responsibility over your history. You need to acknowledge the bad things you did. You need to deal with that in order to, you know, make sure history does not repeat itself again, and so on. Maybe. Probably true. Here's the thing. United States does so much today to make sure or to teach the lesson of slavery. There's a reason why we have Black History Month, for example. There's a reason why we have laws against discrimination, and so on. There's a reason, and so on. There's a reason why we have affirmative actions for African American in the United States. This means that, yes, already today, the United States is taking responsibility. Also in the South, where these statues exist, they are taking responsibility and they are like owning up and living and so on. But we come and tell you is that if you want to show in this current time, because you know Trump and so on, you want to show like a token of peace and to please and to make the African Americans in the United States feel better, feel more welcomed and so on, you can do more of these things, for example, more affirmative actions, or maybe you can start teaching the police to stop being brutal and assholes and harassing them, or you can make sure that the laws regarding the punishment on drug consumption would be equal between the drugs that the Black people use and the drugs that the white people use and so on. So there are so many other things you can do that will not piss off all the people that value the Confederation as a symbol. Now they come and tell us, but look, the Confederation as a whole is a horrible symbol that should not be valued because it stands only, or it's perceived only as about slavery. That is the perception of the people of up north, maybe, of the United States. That is not the perception of the people from the southern states of the United States that do see a lot of other values and a lot of other principles, as Noam already explained to you. And we think that it's like, you know, a bit nasty from OG coming up and saying, oh, look, here are facts that we saw on John Oliver, therefore this is true. Therefore this is true. Well, in reality, it does stand for, there is a huge aspect of the idea of intervening in the states, the single state sovereignty compared to the Federation and so on. So there were a lot more other things that the Confederation stands for. And these things are valuable and meaningful for the people in the southern states, which means that if you these acts are going to make them feel disrespected and humiliated, and we're going to impact in a second why this is only going to make things worse for the African American that Yossi and Alon want so much to protect. Now they come and tell us, look, African Americans today, when they see this symbol, they are like offended because it reminds them of history. But like, here's the thing. The African Americans today, and we're very happy with that, have the ability to express out in the media and to express when they see the ideas that they think are problematic. That is why they actually campaign and call for taking down statues of generals, for example. We do not see this kind of demand of this particular statue, and we did not get an explanation from OG why this particular statue of the unknown soldier is the thing that is that triggering and that problematic for these people. But moreover, the logic that they present, you know, just because these soldiers fought in the war on the side of the southern states, right, we should take it down completely. This logic also stands by wiping out Jefferson, for example, from history, because guess what? He was also a nasty slave owner, but you know, he was also president of the United States and did some other things, right? We really wonder if they want to take all mentions of him as well, or Washington and so on. No. Look, Alon comments and tells you statues glorify, right? The question is, what exactly do they glorify? We come and tell you that these particular statues do not glorify the Confederation as a whole and the values behind the Confederation. These statues come to commemorate the sacrifice of soldiers, exactly the poor soldiers that Alon mentioned at the beginning of his speech, who were caught in the middle of this situation, who had to go and fight, who were patriots and loyal for their country, and died in the cause of defending their country, or as they maybe saw or were told, died in the war of liberating their country. Now, when you want to talk about the grandchildren of these people and how they perceive their grandfather, and Noam starts this and talks to you about how these unknown soldiers can be the face of each and every grandfather in the South. We're saying in an environment today that teaches against racism, in an environment today that does take down statues like the generals that you can point the finger and say he was the one that commanded racist acts or harmful acts, we're saying that's why the grandchildren of these unknown soldiers are not likely to see in these monuments, oh, my grandfather was a racist who fought for slavery, that is why, you know, it must have been a good thing because my grandfather is a good thing, and so on. But rather they will focus on the idea of the sacrifice and the loyalism that he had, and we think that that is important. Before I continue closing, what's your expansion?
Yes, the exact fact that those unknown soldiers are potentially my grandparents means I have to always find a way to rationalize what they've done and relate it to myself and find a way to remove the self-accountability.
No. I'm just explaining why the thing you will focus on is not the fact that they have done slavery, because most of these soldiers weren't slave owners. They were the common man, right? They were just the man who had to fight for the big, nasty slave owners who, you know, decided to go to war in the first place. And now why is this so prolonged? Because look, when General Lee's statue was taken down, the extreme reaction that you saw was by KKK members. You did not see like the average white guy from the South going and fighting and going to the extreme. We say that when you take down these statues that symbolize the everyday grandfather, right, of all of us, that's when you get the moderated or the normative Southern people to exactly feel like you're attacking them, to exactly feel like you're dishonoring them and their heritage and their grandfather. You know what that means? That means they're going to look at exactly these African-American whiners that, despite the fact that they're getting all the affirmative actions and so on, are now disgracing my grandfather, and that's when you get harmful backlash towards this population. That's when you get more discrimination, more violence, and more riots against them. We think that's a horrible thing, and definitely does not achieve the goal that OG wants of, you know, let's make them feel better.